Gavin, how unique was last year? You come to LSU, you know, Mr. Baseball, Gatorade Player of the Year, and it was Gavin Guidry's going to play in the infield, and Gavin Guidry's going to hit. And then it ends up Gavin Guidry is on the mound for the last out of the College World Series. Was it completely not what you expected last year? And how do you adjust to this year, and how's it changed for you?
Yeah, I mean, you go into the season, you just try to do whatever you can to help the team win, right? You know, the fall's for development, that's kind of whenever you focus on yourself, and then once it comes to winning games, it's whatever you gotta do to help the team win. So it came down to it, and they asked me to start throwing again, and you know, I didn't even think twice about it. Now, I didn't really think that I would be in the position that I was in at the end of the year, but you know, that's how it worked out. And then transitioning to this year, it's kind of the same thing, right? Like, you just go in, show up every day, attack the day, show up at the beginning of the year, you know, game one, and it's, you know, whether you're throwing the first pitch of the year or you're not pitching at all that Friday night, like whatever you got to do to help us win games, what you got to do. So it's the same mindset as last year. You know, you're just attacking it and you're out there to win every day, competing.
Obviously, you know, playing the infield and hitting is still in the cards for you. But how much does it help? You know, being able to like ramp up as a pitcher heading into this season?
Yeah, it's been really good. Coach Yeski, Coach Johnson have done a really good job with me this year on, you know, giving my arm the time that it needs to build up, and you know, just putting myself in the best position to, you know, be the best me. So, I mean, it's been really good, the process of development and going through it the right way, and then now it's kind of slowing down and focusing on the pitching side and getting a little more rest, letting my body recover more. So hopefully I can extend a little bit more, you know, go through the lineup once or twice, maybe, you know, see where it goes, and then ultimately just showing up and competing.
Hey Gavin, one of the performances that stick out to me is putting a bow on the Super Regional over Kentucky. What do you make, piggybacking off the first question, what do you make of your performance on the back half of the season, or the postseason rather?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that it wasn't just me, it was really the whole staff. You know, we really came together after the SEC tournament and put a lot of the pieces of the puzzle together, and things just started to fit right. And we kind of, I don't know if it would say like find our identity, but we just kind of figured a lot of things out late in the year, and I mean, it paid off. You know, you would rather have your best stuff at the end of the year than you would, you know, middle of the year. You know, whenever games matter, we showed up, and you know, ultimately that's why you do everything that you do throughout the year. Is whenever the games matter, you show up and you have your best stuff. So it was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously came in here maybe with one vision of how you were going to contribute to this team, and ended up being another. Just how comfortable are you with the fact that maybe your future is in pitching and maybe not with, you know, fielding and hitting? Just how's that kind of gone through your mind mentally throughout the last several months?
Yeah, I mean, it's different, right? I always grew up being a hitter first and then kind of a pitcher after that, and it was one of the things that I did growing up to help my team win. Not necessarily what I wanted to do in the future, but I mean, God has a plan for everything, right? Like, you know, you don't control the timing of things and how it works out. You know, it's completely out of your control. So I would say just kind of trusting everything and just, you know, having faith in Him that, you know, He's putting you in the right positions for things to work out, and you just control what you can control. You know, showing up every day, attacking the day. You know, attacking my routine, recovering, you know, taking care of all the stuff that I can take care of, and just kind of leaving it in His hands.
Tell me about this year's staff. Just what do you see in them early?
Yeah, there's a lot to see. I mean, top to bottom, you know, there's guys that can go out. You have lefties, you have righties, you have, you know, big spin guys, you have changeup guys, you have guys who can sink the ball, you have guys who can carry the ball, guys throwing 100, you know, I mean, everything you can possibly imagine whenever you're building the pitching staff. But I'd say the really thing that it boils down to is just us going out there and executing pitches, right? Competing, knowing how to get guys out. And, you know, throughout the fall, the younger guys, the guys that came back in, the guys that are out of the transfer portal really did that really well. I was super impressed with the freshman class, you know, Cam Johnson and Cade Anderson and all of those guys on the mound to, you know, really just go in there and compete and throw strikes and trust their stuff. So it's really big.
Gavin, Coach talked about, just knowing that he had the right guys in the building, both on the roster and in the staff. Obviously, Coach Yeski's been a big addition for you. What has your experience been like with him? And are there several examples maybe that you can share where you guys were able to get together and kind of maybe unlock something even more for your growth as a pitcher?
Yeah, Coach Yeski's amazing. He's the perfect balance between, the modern technology and being able to understand all that kind of stuff, but staying old school with mentality and, mindset, and ultimately favoring, just being a competitor. He really favors getting guys out over like the analytics stuff, numbers don't lie. And when you go out there and you're going to do your job, throw strikes, get guys out, it doesn't really matter what the analytics say if it's working out. But I would say the one thing that he's really helped me with is starting to develop a lot of confidence in my fastball again. It's something that just kind of withered away a little bit throughout the year last year just from not using it as much. But, him showing me that he has a ton of confidence in my fastball and that he's not going to just pigeonhole me to just throwing only breaking balls and that be the only way for me to get guys out. And so we really worked really hard on that throughout the fall, and then coming into this spring inter-squad meet pitching, throwing a ton of fastballs. Yesterday, I pitched yesterday through 2 innings and probably threw like 75-80% fastballs. Just him kind of forcing me to go in there and locate the fastball and compete with that pitch. I think it's going to be really big for me.
You mentioned Cade Anderson. What have you seen from him so far, and being in that position last year, how have you maybe tried to help him in his transition to college baseball?
Yeah, I played with him on Team USA whenever he was going from his sophomore to junior year, and I was going from my junior to senior year, so he was playing a year up. And he's always had electric stuff, right? I think Coach Johnson said this in a press conference or an interview or something a week ago or two, but if he wouldn't have got Tommy John, I don't know if he would have ended up here, right? Like, it was one of those things where it was a blessing in disguise, as far as for LSU fans, because he's going to be an elite pitcher here for 2 or 3 years, however long he's here. He's going to pitch at a very high level here. He has a ton of confidence in his stuff, a ton of comfortability to just go in there and throw the ball over the plate, compete in his zone. And he has 3 pitches he can throw for a strike whenever he wants him, so it's pretty special.
What was it like as a true freshman to step in and be part of the experience from mid-February to late June and witness it all? And what did you learn walking away from it? You've always been described as a guy who's not wide-eyed about anything, but were there moments where whoa, I'm out here at the World Series or whatever?
Man, I would say, first off, it was an amazing opportunity that I didn't think that I was going to get going into the season, right? But I don't think that there was ever a time that I was kind of brought back or just kind of in awe. But every time I went out there, I was grateful for the opportunity to go out there and compete. Not many freshmen get to pitch on the level that I got, and not many freshmen get that opportunity. And he trusted me to get the job done, so it didn't go unnoticed as far as the opportunity that I was getting. But I wouldn't say that I was, brought back or in awe really ever, but just extremely grateful and humble to get the opportunities.
I think you're the last guy that we're going to talk to today. None of us have asked about the catchers, but they're both the team captains, right? What do they mean to this team?
Yeah. They're almost part of the pitching staff, right? Like, those guys, they're around us every day. I'm around the catchers just as much as I am the other pitchers. But Milazzo and Travinsky and Brady and those guys really what make us go, right? They provide a ton of confidence in us, seeing them work hard day in and day out, and it's something that we can just really go out there and trust, right? We see them every single day in the cages, working on their receiving, working on their blocking, catching all our whole bullpens, getting beat up for us, and it's something that you can really get behind whenever you're out there competing and just trusting them. So it's really important.
Obviously, your concentration has been more on pitching, but how much infield work and hitting have you been trying to mix in there a little bit, just so you stay fresh there at least?
Yeah, right now I'm just focusing on pitching, trying to let my body completely reset and get back to full 100%, get my legs all the way underneath me, try to put a little bit more weight before the season starts, get a little more strength. And then, you know, if ever something takes place where, you know, I need to start hitting and taking ground balls or doing anything that I need to do to help us win, you know, that's definitely still on the table. But as far as it, right now, it's just pitching for me.
What can you tell us about the growth of guys who came at the same time that you didn't get to pitch last year? As in DJ and Aiden, how have you kind of seen them grow as pitchers over the
Yeah.
offseason?
Well, DJ was from Louisiana, right? It's a guy that I got to compete against in high school a little bit. And then me and Moffitt played on the same summer ball team. So, I mean, it's guys that I knew had the stuff to, you know, compete here and pitch here. And it's been really cool to watch them, you know, go from last year where, like you said, they didn't get many opportunities. And how, I mean, they're going to be guys that we go to often out of the pen to help us get out of situations and out of, you know, jams, because their stuff is elite. You know, Moffitt's running up to 100 miles an hour, has 2 elite all-speed pitches. DJ might have the best single pitch on the pitching staff with his slider. It's probably the best pitch on the team. And then his fastball is super hard to pick up. It has a lot of deception there. And then, you know, both those guys just really got a mentality that they didn't have last year that could be really special for us this year as far as, you know, being a driving force for our success for sure.
Is the hair just taller? The roster says you're 6'2", 178. You're definitely heavier than last year, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I got up to like 185. So yeah, last year I think it said it was 174. I got up to 185. Try and get to 190 before season, and then try to hold it throughout the year.
Is it difficult? Put the weight
Yeah,
on?
putting weight on for me is very difficult. Some guys don't struggle with it, but I mean, it's something that I have to put a lot of focus on and a lot of attention to every single day. You know, making sure I'm hydrating well, sleeping well. You know, getting 5 or 6 meals in every day to be able to put the weight on and hold the weight.
I thought it was interesting when you said you're trying to develop more confidence in the fastball and not just throw the breaking ball. Usually it's reversed like that for pitchers. What's that been like in terms of everybody usually just, I can just throw the fastball and throw it hard. What's that process been like to develop the confidence back in the fastball?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of been pretty fun, right? Like, it wasn't something that I had to ever really work on when I was in high school, because you know, obviously when you're in high school, you throw a lot more fastballs. You know, I had a good fastball for high school baseball, and a lot of guys, you know, just struggle with hitting it. So the pitch that I used a lot more. So I had a ton of confidence in it. But I would say the first thing is you got to know, you know, what confidence comes from, and it's just complete trust in yourself, right? You know, I would say confidence is mainly comes from, you know, preparing and seeing things work out, and then just, you know, understanding that you can do it. So, I mean, that's why he's having me throw so many fastballs right now, to where, you know, he trusts in my fastball and he trusts my command and the shape of my fastball. And, you know, it's just a lot more of me completely filling it out and understanding what I need to do to compete with that pitch.
Anyone else? All right, thanks, Gavin.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gavin.
Appreciate it.